Good evening. Welcome back to the Glazov Gang. Our gang members this evening: Homayoun Mobaseri, who is the founder of Neda for a Free Iran; Nicole Kayan Siddiqui, who is the director of the new movie I Am Neda, and also who played Neda in that film; and Roozbeh Farahaninpour, the co-founder of Marse Pour Gohar.
It's 9.
I get a 9 out of 10 this time?
You got a 9, and let me correct one little thing
What
here.
did I do?
Nicole was so gracious but not saying anything, but
Yes.
her name is not Kayan, it's Kian.
It's Kiana.
Yeah.
I apologize. So
That's okay.
I got a point here, but a subtraction here. So Cayenne.
Kian.
Kian.
Yes.
Okay, I
It's not a
apologize.
Cayenne. Cayenne is a
It's not
pepper.
a Cayenne pepper.
Kian. It's my Russian background. It's just a
As
pronunciation.
in the Irish, Kian.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us for this third segment of the Glazov Gang, and our theme tonight is for a free Iran. Let's have a discussion in this third segment on what we can do, because it just seems sometimes it's hard not to be pessimistic, because the West seems to just be paralyzed, and I'm very critical myself personally of the man that we have in the White House, who I think has betrayed the people that are suffering under Islamic fundamentalism. But let me turn to the experts. Before I do, give me one sentence each on how you would describe this regime that is occupying Iran at this moment. Roozbeh?
As I told you, that this regime is occupied my country culturally, and that's the second Arab occupation of my country. And unfortunately, they received lots of the aid and help from the Western countries.
So the Western countries are actually supporting the enemy of the West.
An enemy of the West.
But when you say Arab, is Ahmadinejad and those mullahs Arab, or are you more referring to the religion that has been brought in?
That's a cultural and ideology
Okay.
they believe in. They are, when the Ayatollah Khomeini, founder of the Islamic Republic, tried to promote the international Islamism, or pan-Islamist versus the pan-Arabism, and he tried to promote the Arab culture and Islamic culture and tried to export their own revolution to other countries. And that exactly was versus the Iranian nationalism and Iranian secularism.
So once again, to summarize from your perspective, just a brutal occupier. Nicole, how would you describe this regime very briefly? What regime is there?
Power hungry and bloodthirsty.
Power hungry and bloodthirsty?
In very short, if I
Homayoun?
want to describe it, I would say this is a military, economical dictatorship, putting it all together. They have gone away from their ideology. It's nothing anymore ideology within this regime. It's power grasp and greed and corruption. That's what it is.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, in 2009, we saw the Iranian people go into the streets to try to overthrow this monstrous and vicious, sadistic regime. They did not succeed. Could they have succeeded if they had maybe done something differently, or if the West had done something differently? Was that a moment where there was a failure to some extent on some side, or Roozbeh, or was it impossible to overthrow that regime?
No, that was very close to overthrowing the regime. Unfortunately, international media, including the Western administration and Western regimes, from the United States to European countries, all of them try to starting to censor the real movement, as maybe Nicole can describe it better than me. Even the statue of the Neda, any places they try to put the statue of the Neda, they try to put a scarf on her head and try to make the Neda as a symbol of the reformist in Iran. And her mother, her father, they come on the TV and on the different interview, they mention Neda never voted for Mousavi or Karoubi. She was not a part of the Green movement.
Nicole, was that a missed opportunity? Could something different have been done? Was it a failure? Because a lot of people in the West, like the liberals argued, and Obama probably was his rationale, although I doubt his real intentions, which I think are destructive. But the thinking was, if America says something, they'll be seen as CIA or something. Let's not get involved and let the Iranian people do it themselves. That was the thinking, where I think it was a betrayal, that we needed a Ronald Reagan at the time to say, break down this Islamist wall.
Well, yes. Well, if you listen to the protesters on the streets, who went into the streets with big signs, they weren't just saying it. In Farsi, they were saying, Obama, Obama, ya ba una, ya ba ma, which means, Obama, Obama, literally means, either you're with them or you're with us. I mean, this was televised all over.
They
and
wanted him to
well
say something.
documented. So they were.
The Iranian people wanted Obama to take a stand on their side.
That's what they were asking for.
Okay, and he did not give that.
I guess that they wouldn't have gone into the streets otherwise. I think when you have, and it's not just Obama's United Nations every year inviting Ahmadinejad when there are millions of people dying to escape Iran and they're not allowed visas into the country. My own grandmother, who was alone, an 80-year-old woman, wasn't given a visa just to visit. So there's a confusing message coming out of Washington, I think, and probably Europe, but Europe is more prevalent to be having relationships with them.
Thank you so much. Humayun, missed opportunity. What are your thoughts
It
during
was
that
a missed
conference?
opportunity, no doubt about it, but I would say a little bit I differ over here. I am not in the minds of Obama or his administration, but maybe he was influenced by the CIA coup of 1952, and he didn't want Iranians in future go back to this again and say the same thing. And then at the very same time, some reformists, they reached the administration and they said that we don't need any help. Maybe that was it, but to me, to deal with such a regime, to appease this regime is not right. And bottom line, it was a missed opportunity and it should not have happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know that in my family there's a great hurt in the sense that Russia is symbolized by communism. Today it's symbolized by Putin and KGB and mafiosos. And it's so hurtful for our family because there's so much beauty about Russia that goes unseen and unheard of. When we talk about Iran, we see Khomeini and we see people being beaten in the streets and we see forced veiling and all these atrocities. Can you very briefly, because we're running out of time, in your own heart and soul, give us a few sentences on the beauty of Iran that's missed in all of this? Tell us about the beauty of your country and maybe what the West does not know.
The beauty of my country, we call our country as a glorious frontiers. First of all, and we believe our country one of the best and beautiful country in the world, and the pure culture of the Iranian people, that's more nice and welcome people to international community. As you know, the Iranian people, they were the only people in the Middle East or in the greater Persian Gulf region. They came to the street after the tragedy of the 9/11. And they showed their own support of the people, support the Iranian people to the victims here in the United States.
And how interesting, because the Palestinians were celebrating and handing out candies, and the rest in the Arab Middle East were, and the Iranians showed solidarity with the Americans.
And at the same time, that's a regime opposite of the people, arrest the people, they came for solidarity with the American peoples. And in the verses of the Iranian people, what the U.S. administration did to the Iranian people. Not only the Iranian people, in all of the greater Persian Gulf region, or they call it as the Arab Springs, they support all of the fundamental groups in the Libya, in the Egypt, in the Tunisia, in all of the region. That's Berzinski tried to promote the green belt. Now, the new Berzinski people, they try to promote the green flags.
Now, Rouzbeh, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but I have investigators on my show that investigate every new member of the Glazov gang, and we have found out that you are a great cook and are in the restaurant business. What is a great dish that you make, an Iranian dish?
First of all, I'm not a cook, I'm a good manager.
You're a manager, okay.
But
see, the investigators aren't doing their job.
I think he wants an invite.
But what now? But you're a manager. What is a great dish?
All of the dishes, that's a lamb dishes is the best
In
meal in Iranian dishes.
Okay, and lamb.
lamb.
Now, can you cook it yourself?
No,
No,
but
you're
I
not
know I can choose it. I
Okay,
can buy
so
it.
a manager, but not a cook, but great food in Iranian culture. Nicole, something that you think is very beautiful about your country that perhaps you'd like to share with our viewers?
You know, the country that we see that's pictured is not traditionally Islamic. It's a rich religion of about a rich country with history of 3,000 years. Cyrus the Great wrote the first Declaration of Human Rights, which is now in the United Nations in a glass. It's a stone carving. He also freed 5,000 Jews from Babylon, and so this is the Persian-Iranian culture that I know of. And now that what we see, as I've portrayed in my film in I Am Neda, the kids now are asking why their parents allowed this revolution to happen in the first place. And every time, as I portrayed in my film, Neda's family was stopping Neda from going into the streets because they were concerned for her safety. She asked the poignant question of her mother, well, didn't you go in 1979?
Right.
And her mother said yes, but they were never having orders to shoot to kill.
Right.
It wasn't what it is now. So
Shows the true evil of this regime.
shows the before and after
Yeah.
in history, and I think that's a big lesson to learn. Also, I'd like to add, if you look at Iran, it's very central geopolitically. Whenever there's peace in Iran, there's always been peace in the region. When there's turmoil in Iran, if you look, there's always turmoil in the region. And I think that says it all.
Thank you so much, Humayun. The beauty of your country.
Beauty of the country, she referred to all the historical facts and the same as Roosevelt did. I would say the beauty of Iran is the multiculturalism that Iran has. And other countries, they are trying to achieve it. Even this country, even Canada, even Britain, they are trying to achieve it through the law. But in Iran, culturally, it do exist. Multiculturalism and multi-religious. For example, I come from a family that is Kurdish, Turkish, Persian. I come from a family that has Sunni in it, has Shia in it, Shia 12 Imami, Shia 1 Imami. As you see, all of these fights that they go in other countries about the culture, about the religion, we peacefully, we do live with each other.
Thank you so much. We are out of time, but we cannot leave without 15 seconds, please, and I emphasize 15 seconds from each of you. Viewers are watching and saying, you know what, I've got to do something to help free Iran. What, in 15 seconds each, what would you say to the viewers that they can do to try to help?
We need the moral support of all of the grassroots people of the West, and they ask the people to push their administrations. And for the end, free occupied Iran.
Thank you, Nicole.
We need everybody to support a movie like I Am Neda, which is about a true voice of Iran and the people on the ground. This isn't my voice, although I echo it. If you'd like to go to www.iamneda.com, you can support us through our social media links. Be free to email us at info@nedathemovie.com and tell the world about her story, because this is a story that the Islamic Republic doesn't want you to see.
Humayun?
I believe that we have to deal with Iran in two different ways. One way is to engage, constructive engagement, and talking with them rather than isolating and not talking to them. It doesn't bear any fruits. And the other one is to support the refugees.
Okay. And by supporting refugees, we delegitimize the regime that's in power, as you said earlier. Nicole, Roozbeh, and Humayun, a great pleasure and honor to have you here. And on behalf of our three freedom fighters and on behalf of so many people, and also for the David Horowitz Freedom Center and Front Page Magazine, I can say, I am Neda. Good night.